Right now, clear skies ahead for a day of Badger football. The countdown to kickoff is on, and Chris has your tailgating forecast. And we have your game day preview of the first matchup in Madison this season. What to watch for this afternoon.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now This Morning.
Good morning, and thanks for starting your day here with us on News 3 Now.
It's Saturday!
And it's game day.
Yeah.
As hopefully the viewers can tell by our red supporting the Badgers.
Yes, the Badgers and the Western Kentucky University Hilltoppers.
Oh yeah, I can't forget
They were
about
red and white as well, so I have an entire wardrobe ready to go
All right.
for the Badgers too.
Yeah, I'll have to wear the Hilltoppers stuff to support your team.
Okay,
soon.
well, thank you. Thank you very
Thanks
much.
for wearing Badgers for me.
No
and
problem.
It's going to be a nice game day for people.
Yeah, plenty of
weather-wise.
sunshine out there now. We're going to see some cloud cover increase, but I do think it's going to be staying dry as we go through your game day. 62 degrees, the temperature headed out the door. Now winds are calm as well. If we see some wind, those will likely be a northerly wind, and you already can see that northerly wind starting to take over parts of northern and central Wisconsin. It's working its way on southward going throughout the day. 51 in Black River Falls, 54 in Camp Douglas. Black River Falls just jumped up towards 56 degrees, 60 still in Monroe. We're all going to keep warming up as we go through the day before the cloud cover starts to streak on in. We're all cooler than we were at this time yesterday simply because we had clear skies overnight. If you remember yesterday morning, it was very gray and very cloudy out there. But here's weather track. Look back towards the north and west and you do see the cloud cover. It's coming. It's on the way, but I do think most of the rainfall should wait before it gets here. The rainfall should wait until Sunday at least. But plan the day with the cloud cover on the increase. Temperatures will be around 69 if you are headed out to tailgate, and then right around kickoff time at 2:30, we'll see those temperatures approach the low 70s, and they'll likely stay in the low 70s with more so overcast skies by the time we get you towards the end of the game. Plenty of stuff going on this weekend, Keely, as well. We've got Chili Mania. We've got a lot of athletic events going on. So I know a lot of folks are paying attention to the weather.
Yeah, and I mean, it really is kind of that quintessential fall football weather that we're seeing.
It really is.
Feels good.
I want to make some chili now. I was at Chili Mania yesterday morning, and now I'm like, you know what? I may just have to break it out and go full fall at this point.
I may have to join you there.
All right,
All right.
I'll let you know.
Thanks, Chris. Well, now to the latest on Hurricane Dorian, which slammed into North Carolina's Outer Banks overnight as it heads back out to sea. Now forecasters say the storm may skirt the coast of New England this weekend, and hurricane and tropical storm warnings and watches are still in effect as far north as Canada. That means rain, wind, and flooding for the millions who live there. The now Category 1 storm still comes with 90-mile-an-hour winds. Meanwhile, relief efforts are underway in the Bahamas, where some areas were reduced to rubble. There are new reports that the Prime Minister's office is saying the death toll has risen to at least 43. Many of the survivors are now homeless and have spent much of the week living in an airport, waiting for their turn to evacuate.
Abaco has always been my home.
What do you have left?
I don't have nothing but me and my kids.
The UN says more than 76,000 people in the Bahamas are in urgent need of food and water. If you're looking to help those affected by Hurricane Dorian, you'll want to make sure your money is being sent to the right places. The Better Business Bureau wants to make sure you're only giving to experienced disaster relief organizations. You can do that by verifying the trustworthiness of soliciting relief organizations by visiting give.org. See if the charity has on-the-ground presence in the area impacted. Find out if the charity is providing direct aid, and also do your research on crowdfunding to make sure you understand how it works. For more ways on tips to avoid being scammed, you can just visit the BBB's website. Meanwhile, on the other side of the country, Los Angeles firefighters are still trying to put out a brush fire this morning, which started out as a structure fire, then spread. It's on North Beverly Drive near Beverly Hills, and right now is about 2 acres in size. Firefighting helicopters were seen out overnight trying to put out the large flames. One person is injured after a car drove into a train in Janesville overnight. Rock County Dispatch says it happened shortly after 8 o'clock on La Prairie Town Hall Road, south of County Highway O. The Janesville Fire Department and Rock County Sheriff's Office responded. Now, they say the driver is the only one reported as injured, thankfully, right now. The 25-year-old son of former Governor Scott Walker is considering running for Congress. In an interview, Walker said his son Matt is interested in the suburban Milwaukee seat being vacated by retiring Republican U.S. Representative Jim Sensenbrenner. Now, if he does run, he could be going up against some of the most powerful Republicans in the state, including Leah Vukmir and Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald. The Foxconn executive who has represented the company's project in Wisconsin is stepping down from his position. Foxconn says Louis Wu has, quote, relinquished his project responsibilities to focus on addressing some personal matters. The company now says Jay Lee, a deputy chairman and board member, will take over that role. More local news now. Dane County's Henry Vila Zoo has earned its accreditation from the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. County Executive Joe Parisi, Zoo Director Rhonda Schwetz, and zoo staff attended the annual accreditation conference in New Orleans. They presented exciting plans for the future, including new expanded hours that'll take effect next year. From the Memorial Day to Labor Day, the zoo will be open until 8 p.m. and it is always free. The zoo accreditation president says the distinction means visitors can be assured their visit is supporting a facility that provides the highest quality animal care and welfare and is contributing to initiatives that save animals from extinction. Less than 10% of the nearly 2,800 wildlife exhibitors licensed by the U.S. Department of Agriculture receive this accreditation. The two women who accused Badgers receiver Quintez Cephas of sexual assault have hired a prominent attorney to investigate the university's decision to reinstate him following his acquittal. The women have hired John Clune. He represented Deborah Ramirez, who last year accused U.S. Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh of exposing himself to her in the 1980s. Clune also represented a woman in 2004 who accused the NBA star Kobe Bryant of sexual assault. University officials reinstated Cephas and let him rejoin the football team after a jury acquitted him last month. In better Badger news, it's game day for Badger fans. The Badgers are now 17th in the country heading into the first home game of the season. Wisconsin was previously ranked 19th in this week's AP Top 25 college football poll, but after dominating South Florida last week, they have moved on up. 7 Big Ten teams are ranked in this week's poll. Today is the start of a 5-game homestand for the Badgers, and they won't have a road game until they head to Illinois on October 19th. Here's our Melissa Kim with 3 things to watch for during this game.
Well, we've got the J.J. Watt Bowl today for the Badgers home opener. Wisconsin hosting Central Michigan, which was almost J.J. Watt's alma mater. He played his freshman season as a tight end for the Chippewas before he transferred to UW. So what to look for today? Well, all eyes on Jonathan Taylor. Definitely look for him to contribute early and a lot. He scored 4 touchdowns last week in Wisconsin's season opener. 2 of them were touchdown catches. Expect him to keep on doing that. JT continuing to write himself into the history books in a Badger uniform. Thing number 2 to look out for, another stingy performance from the defense. Defensive coordinator Jim Leonard has gotten his guys to work, only allowing a total of 157 yards last week against South Florida. That includes just 26 yards on the ground. And the defense loves to score too. The former walk-on Mac Henningsen with a pick-6 last week. Finally, there's no place like Camp Randall. Between jump around and the 5th quarter, the Badgers have won 23 straight home openers, and they're 35-point favorites against the Chippewas today.
Thank you, Melissa. 2.5 hours before kickoff, you can head out to the first Badger Bash of the season. That's outside Union South, where there will be free food, live music, and games for the whole family before every home game of the year. And you'll hear something new inside Camp Randall today. It's the first Badger game without band director Mike LaCrone, who stepped down after last season. This week, we got to meet Dr. Corey Pompey for the first time and sit in on his practice. He said He's not looking forward to the Wisconsin winters, but is excited to lead such a talented band. Pompey is keeping the traditional stop the top move and the fifth quarter. Here is a preview of what you'll hear during today's halftime show.
For our first show, you can expect a little bit of Beyonce, The Killers, Jonas Brothers, and Adele, and all four of those tunes will be done in 3.5 minutes, but we'll touch each one of those things. The second show, we're planning to do a funk show.
He looks like a lot of fun. Pompey says he probably won't be flying in from the ceiling like Lacrone did, but he will be adding some big production value to future performances. Well, from the Badgers to the Brewers, pretty much everything clicked for the Crew overnight as they made up some ground in the wild card, beating the Cubs 7-1. Christian Yelich slugged a 3-run homer and Yasmani Grandal chipped in with a solo shot too. This is just the latest in the Brewers' string of must-win games against their Central Division rivals. First pitch tonight is at 6:10. Right now, the Brewers are 4 games behind in the race for the second wild card. It is 8:10 and you are about to take a live look over the Capitol where vendors are getting ready for hopefully a very busy day at the market. Chris has your full farmers market forecast just ahead.
Welcome to what is starting out as a beautiful weekend here across South Central Wisconsin, and it's not just a beautiful weekend, but this is the start of college football here in Badgerland. Of course, the Badgers have their first home game at Camp Randall. If you're going to be out tailgating, things are going to be partly sunny to start. We've got some sunshine out there now, some blue sky, but the cloud cover is moving back into the picture. By kickoff, we'll start to see mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures will be right around 71. And then by the time you're headed home from the game, things will likely be overcast, but the cloud cover should keep temperatures steady. That's why those temperatures should still be into the low 70s. Low 60s in Madison right now. Elsewhere, we have a lot of temperatures that are into the mid and upper 50s. This is the start. Those temperatures were really able to cool off with the clear skies overnight last night, and now they're starting to rebound a little bit now that the sun has come up. 62 for us, a calm wind. But we're going to start to see those winds picking up out of the north as we go through the rest of your morning and especially into the afternoon. No showers or thunderstorms for us, though, so that's certainly some good news. But we are watching the rain try to creep in anyway from the west. I'm pretty certain that that rain should hold off until your Sunday. But as you go through your plans today, most things should be dry, even though things are going to get cloudy. High pressure begins to move away from us. As that moves away, that allows the region of low pressure back towards the west to begin to spread our direction. Eventually, that leads to more rain chances out ahead of that warm front. And then in time, that warm front actually does lift north. Wait till I show you the temperature trend as we go through the next 10 days in just a moment. But for today, again, clouds increasing. We'll see a high right around 71 degrees this afternoon. Look for more cloud cover towards the evening, and then into Sunday, that is when we'll see the rain, especially Sunday afternoon. We'll see those better chances for some showers throughout here. And then into Monday, I think it's possible we could see some showers as well. But by Monday, that south wind starts to take over. 84 is a likely temperature by Tuesday. That is even warmer than our highest average high in the year in July. So it's going to be a very warm day Tuesday into Wednesday, and then we'll gradually slide those temperatures right back down as another cold front begins to arrive towards next weekend. But of course, that cold front arriving towards next weekend has multiple rain chances to go before we get there. So we're looking at a week that features several rain chances. None of them are absolute washouts, but you're going to have some days, such as tomorrow, that'll be more so on the gray and rainy side, and then other days where you see that sunshine, it's kind of warm and humid. You get some pop-up storms here and there. But overall, other than the couple of days above average, we have a generally cooler than average forecast as we go through the next 10 days, Keely.
Chris, I'm going to ignore that and just focus on Tuesday. You have no idea how happy I am to see that 84
All
degrees.
right, the 84 is just for you. I'm pretty sure at the start of the show you said you wanted chili, though. So, Keely, we're going back and forth.
You know, never satisfied. But 84
okay.
for one day, I will take it. Thank you so much,
My
Chris.
pleasure.
Well, new this morning, a recent CBS survey found 20% of kids aged 6 to 17 did not read any books at all during the summer of 2018. That percentage has been growing. In 2016, it was just 15%. Now, students who don't read during summer break lose an average of 2 to 3 months of proficiency, according to the Department of Education. And over time, those months add up to years lost. By high school, 2/3 of the reading achievement gap can be attributed to summer learning loss during elementary school. Students in Mount Horeb School District are enjoying upgrades in their classroom and laboratories this school year. The renovations are officially complete after a ribbon-cutting ceremony Friday night at the district's high school. The safety and security systems were also upgraded. After years of planning, district officials say they're proud of the $38.5 million renovation and happy that it's over.
We're always looking for ways in which we can help make our program even stronger. And by having the facilities necessary to take us to the next level, breakthrough levels, we've got them now, and that's a result of a very, very generous community.
A 2019 plaque will be put into the exterior of the high school to commemorate the renovations of this year, which will also include a time capsule. A 3-foot-long ball python is still on the loose at Fond du Lac High School. Oh my goodness. Students and staff spent the first week of classes keeping an eye out for the snake named Kaya. Now, he is the pet of one of the school's science teachers and is not a threat to humans. At some point, though, over Labor Day weekend, he made a break for it. Now, the school has been searching ever since, even bringing in the fire department to use thermal cameras. But so far, they haven't had any luck. They think it slithered into a vent in the science classroom. Yikes. Well, it is 8:18 and a new look for the young pope and a first glance at a hit show hitting the big screen. The top morning headlines are just ahead. Plus, there are several shows and movies you should find time for this weekend. Will shares his picks in 3 things to watch. That's all ahead on News 3 Now this morning, Saturday. Welcome back. It's 8:21, and here is what is trending this morning. Jude Law is back as Pope Pius. Very exciting news for him. The story. But first, he is strutting down the beach in a Speedo in the trailer for the new Pope. The 8-episode drama is a continuation of the 2016 series, The Young Pope. It ended with Law's character in a coma, making way for John Malkovich to join the cast as the new Pope, John Paul III. No word yet on when the series will air in HBO. Apple TV's upcoming half-hour drama Dickinson will headline this year's Tribeca TV Festival in New York City later this month. Dickinson features Haley Steinfeld as the rebellious poet Emily Dickinson. Although the series is set in the 19th century, it takes on a modern twist depicting Dickinson and the era as less than proper and uptight. No word yet on a premiere date. And Downton Abbey fans will be happy to see Countess Violet Crawley hasn't lost any of her sassiness in the newest sneak peek of the upcoming film based on the popular TV series. Set in 1927, the story continues the saga of the Crawley family and its interactions with the servants as they prepare for a visit from King George V and Queen Mary. Downtown Abbey, the movie, arrives in theaters in just 2 weeks on September 20th. But you don't have to wait until then to watch something super good. Here are Will Loper's 3 things to watch this weekend.
This is really awful. Maybe the worst thing I've ever seen.
What was it, wild animals?
So what are you thinking?
I'm thinking zombies.
What?
New on digital HD this week is The Dead Don't Die.
You know, the undead. Ghouls.
Indie film director Jim Jarmusch puts his own comedic take on the zombie film with a star-studded cast that includes Tilda Swinton, Bill Murray, Adam Driver, and many more.
Flesh-eating zombies.
Don't joke. It's really, really creepy.
Oh, man. This isn't gonna end well. They gravitate towards things they did when they were alive.
Called beer.
Chardonnay.
Did she just say Chardonnay?
Yeah, she did.
The Dead Don't Die is available on digital HD now.
I've been telling you this is all gonna end badly.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Who are you?
I'm Molly. I'm a new writer.
You want to sit down?
Okay.
That's where Madison sits.
Could you sit down, please?
Oh, I'll just use this trash can. There's hardly any trash in it at all. Oh, it's kind of comfortable, better than a chair.
Newly streaming on Amazon Prime this week is the comedy Late Night.
That's our show, everyone. I came to tell you this year is your last.
What?
They can't replace you if everyone loves you.
Mindy Kaling stars as a writer brought into a late-night show writer's room dominated by men to help a failing late-night host played by Emma Thompson.
What exactly is wrong with my bits?
You're a little old and a little white.
What can I do about that?
I have some jokes for the monologue. I shouldn't do this in an English accent, should I?
No.
What?
Late Night is available to stream on Amazon Prime now.
Says here that you studied clowning at the Clown Francaise.
That's correct, at the Academy de Clown and Francois.
Finally, this week, a very scary clown is in theaters, but there's a much nicer and funnier one on the show, Baskets. The award-winning series is on its 3rd season and follows Chip Baskets, played by Zach Galifianakis, as an aspiring clown trying to find his place in life.
I'm gonna have to get a real job.
This is a real job. We all can't be florists or dishwashers. Some of us have to be artists.
All 3 seasons of Baskets are available on digital or in stores.
Being a clown is the most important thing in the world to me.
You look like a clown, but you are not a clown.
I am a clown!
Happy watching. Those are the 3 things you need to watch. And this is Will Loper for News 3 Now this morning.
It is 8:26 and there is much more ahead on News 3 Now. Next, we're running through the morning's top stories. Plus, the countdown to kickoff is on. What to know before you head down to Camp Randall for the first Badgers home game of the season. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's 8:29. Nielsen says 76% of music listeners will now stream their tunes online. Musicians have not always been paid fairly for digital distribution of their work, and a new law now is helping them make off money during their music.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now This Morning.
Good morning. It's September 7th. I'm Keely Arthur. We'll get a check of your first alert forecast with Chris in just a second. But first, here are 3 things to know as you start your day. Hurricane Dorian is still a threat this weekend as it heads up the New England coast for one final hit here in the U.S. Hurricane and tropical storm warnings and watches are still in effect as far as north as Canada, and that means rain, wind, and flooding for millions of people who live there. The now Category 1 storm comes with 90-mile-an-hour winds. Meanwhile, relief efforts are underway in the Bahamas, where some areas were reduced to rubble. There are new reports that the Prime Minister's office is saying the death toll has risen to at least 43. The UN says more than 76,000 people in the Bahamas are in urgent need of food and water. If you're looking to help, make sure you know where your money is going. The BBB suggests you verify the trustworthiness of soliciting relief organizations at give.org. And the Badger football team is getting ready for their first home opener at Camp Randall this afternoon. They're playing Central Michigan for a 2:30 p.m. kickoff. It's the start of a 5-game homestand for the Badgers. They won't have a road game until they go to Illinois in October 19th. And this week, they moved up to number 17 in the AP Top 25 college football poll. Very exciting. And now here's meteorologist Chris Reese. And Chris, it should be pretty good weather for this game day.
Yep, it is game day indeed here in South Central Wisconsin. You might see some cloud cover, but I do not think you will see any of the rainfall. 12 o'clock, you're headed out. You're tailgating at Camp Randall. 69 will be the temperature. The kickoff temperature will be right at 71. We'll notice the cloud cover increasing, especially by the time you begin to head home from the game, but the cloud cover should keep those temperatures steady into the low 70s. Overall, this is seasonable. This is what it's like for college football oftentimes out there. In the meantime, 62 as you head out the door. Dew points are into the mid-50s, so it's very comfortable. We're starting to see more of a northerly wind, though, taking over throughout parts of northern and central Wisconsin. This north and northwesterly wind will likely move in later on today, so that's what we're going to be looking to. In the meantime, 60 in Wisconsin Dells, Wautoma at 58, Camp Douglas at 57. Everyone warming up towards 60, though, but we're all still cooler than we were at this time yesterday because the clear skies overnight allowed those temperatures to drop as opposed to yesterday's cloud cover keeping us warm. More cloud cover is on the way, though. We're looking at that towards the north and west. The rain, that should stay at bay. We should not see any of the rainfall until sometime on Sunday, but this is what we watch as we go through the day. Sunshine is out there, yes, right now, but the cloud cover will be on the increase as you head towards your outdoor activities. Keely?
All right, Chris, thank you so much for that. Well, Congress heads back to work this Monday after a month-long recess, but it hasn't been until now that we're seeing the effects of some legislation passed last year. The Music Modernization Act aims to help artists make money every time their work is streamed. Former Arizona Senator and CBS News contributor Jeff Flake recently met singer Dionne Warwick, and they talked about how the law will transform the music industry.
I've always loved Dionne Warwick. Her songs were the soundtrack at all my school dances.
And I know I'll never love this way again.
I know I'll never love this way again.
That was the last song that they would play. The one that everybody wanted to ask the prettiest girl to dance to.
Of course, because I'm never going to love this way again. I'll keep holding on. Okay.
If you see me walking down the street.
Today's streaming services play her iconic hits all the time.
Never fall in love again.
But Warwick often doesn't see a dime.
Never fall in love again.
What do you mean? Every time your record is played, you don't get paid? No, I don't get paid.
Any song she recorded before 1972 had zero protection under federal copyright law.
I say a little river here, yeah.
Until now. Well, in case you haven't noticed, Congress has been pretty dysfunctional.
Really?
And so to have something like the Music Modernization Act embraced by virtually everyone.
Everyone, yes.
And passed unanimously in the House and the Senate. I can tell you from experience that doesn't happen very often.
Tell me about it. You know how long it took to get it to that point?
Last year, Warwick and legend Smokey Robinson went to Congress. Robinson testified that this was a livelihood thing.
An arbitrary date on the calendar should not be the arbiter of value.
Well, how were you able to come together with those who stream music, the labels and everyone?
Yeah, well,
because they had to all be on board.
It's like pulling hen's teeth, and you know hen don't have teeth. If I don't make a record, you can't play it.
I think the relationship is one of we both need each other.
David Israelite and Garrett Levin represent opposing sides in the music business.
I represent all of the music publishers in the United States and their songwriter partners.
I represent the digital music streaming services, Apple Music, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and Pandora.
All these parties came to the table in part because of copyright lawsuits.
Not only were the services getting sued, but songwriters weren't actually getting paid because of long-standing challenges and actually finding the right people who are owed the money. That kind of lose-lose situation is the alchemy that kind of brought everyone to the table to say, how do we get to the art of the possible?
You're done.
Israelite has been working to pass the legislation for about 10 years.
I actually think one of the reasons why this happened is because Washington has become such a difficult place to get things done. Instead of going to Congress and each fighting for our own interests and probably getting nothing, we all understood that the only way we would get legislation is if we could figure it out ourselves and agree.
They agreed to build a licensing system. It simplifies how the streaming services pay songwriters. Dionne Warwick is thankful for that. What would be your message to the Congress on issues like immigration or gun policy or other things that have been so intractable?
Once we all realize that we're human beings, that God put us all here on this earth to be of service to each other, we've become a nation of I, me, mine. What happened to we and us? You know, I think that's where we have to get back to.
That's what friends are for.
Very cool. Well, looking for something to do this weekend, it's a very busy one around town, and we have got you covered. From an art exhibit made up of infested trees that might have been removed from your street, to the annual Ironman and a chance to get tickets for some future weekend fun. Your Weekend 608 is next on News 3 Now this morning. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's the weekend in the 608, and it's going to be a busy one.
That's right. The UW's first home football game is today, but wait, there's more.
Well, some of the best athletes in the Midwest are in Madison this weekend for the annual Ironman Wisconsin Triathlon. The competition starts with the swimming portion of the race starting at 6:40 tomorrow. We'll be up over at the Monona Terrace. The biking portion will cover a total of 112 miles across Dane County before the race wraps up with a marathon through downtown Madison and the UW campus and finishes at Martin Luther King Boulevard.
And of course, the race does mean there will be plenty of road closures for the biking and running portions. In the city of Madison, closures for biking will last from about 7:30 this morning until 5:30 Sunday evening. That includes East Lakeside Street, just east of John Nolan Drive, along with Olin Turville Court, the Beltline, on and off ramps from Rimrock Road, and then Badger Road just west of Rimrock.
We'll have all that info on our website. That's a lot to remember. Well, the running route will also have some major street closures from noon until midnight tomorrow. That includes much of the Capitol Square, State Street, Langdon Street, University Ave, Monroe Street, and West Dayton. And again, we have links to all those closures up on our website.
All right, this weekend is your first chance to check out a brand new art exhibit made up of something old. The Playhouse Gallery at the Overture Center is hosting Phoenix from the Ashes. This is an exhibit of wood sculptures made from the trees that had to be cut down by the Madison Parks Department due to infestations of emerald ash borers. Yeah, now 13 local woodworkers turned that loss into something beautiful. The artwork is on display until October 27th.
That's really nice. I have covered a lot of those stories where you'd see those trees coming down, and it's always sad. So cool to see
I know, really cool.
Turn
Repurposing
into
there.
art. Yep. And don't forget to get your Freak Fest tickets this weekend so you can get ready for Halloween. The annual Halloween concert returns to the Capitol Square and State Street on October 26th. This year's lineup was announced earlier this week. Lil Yachty and the Gin Blossoms are serving as headliners. You can get your tickets online or at a number of Madison stores. Our friends over at Madison Magazine have a list of those locations on channel3000.com.
This tells you how out of tune I am. I'm laughing at myself because at 5 o'clock I said Little Yachty.
Little Yachty. Oh, I guess
Yachty,
I'm just,
but you knew.
I knew. I'm so cool.
Well, as always, don't forget to pick up a copy of this month's Madison Magazine for all of the best in the Madison area.
All right, well, it's 8:43. You are taking a live look over the Capitol. Chris Reese will have your full forecast next on News 3 Now this morning, Saturday.
But first, let's look at who's 3 today. Happy birthday to Owen and all the kids turning 3. We're seeing some sunshine out there right now on this game day. Cloud cover will be on the increase, though. Now, if you are headed out towards Camp Randall, here's how things play out as we go through the day. Tailgate time, 12 o'clock, 69 degrees. You'll see some sunshine at that point. The cloud cover begins to increase by kickoff. Temperatures work their way into the low 70s at that point, but then there's going to be a continued increase in the cloud cover. So we'll be overcast by the end of the game. Temperatures should still be comfortable right around 70 degrees at that point. So all too bad, or all in all, not too bad of a day out there for football. We're starting things out in the 50s and 60s right now. 57 at Camp Douglas. Wisconsin Dells at 60 right now. Here in Madison, we are at 62. Winds are ultimately calm, but we're starting to see more of a northerly wind component coming in throughout northern and central Wisconsin. That works its way down southward as we go through the day. Hear those calm winds once again. Partly cloudy skies outside. Dew points are into the mid-50s. So yes, it is certainly comfortable out there. No showers, no thunderstorms. We had clear skies overnight. The only thing we're watching is the action starting to move into the western part of the horizon. That's what's sending the cloud cover our way right now, folks. And eventually that cloud cover continues to spread in. I think the rain hangs back to the west just a little bit until we get you into tomorrow, but we are going to see the cloud cover out ahead of that moving in today. High pressure is sliding towards our south and east, folks. This is allowing this area of low pressure to get a lot closer towards Wisconsin. Showers and thunderstorms will break out ahead of that. Now, eventually, this warm front begins to work its way into town. That sets the stage for a little bit of what happens as we get you, say, towards Tuesday. I'll show you those Tuesday temperatures in just a moment. But the clouds move in from the west. Again, look for that high right around 71 degrees today. Then watch the shower chances as we move into Sunday. This is Sunday, 2 o'clock in the morning. Once we get towards sunrise and then into the afternoon, we'll see the best chances for some showers spreading on through here. Sunday, you're not getting out of the 60s. With rain around, with the cloud cover around, it's just going to be a little bit of a raw September day. But then eventually towards Monday, we'll start to see more and more of the shower chances. Something happens Monday afternoon, though. We start to see those winds turn out of the south. That's why we jump from 70 to 84 being your high as we move into Tuesday. Likely low 80s again headed into your Wednesday. Another cold front eventually comes through towards next weekend. That'll knock our temperatures back down. But folks, the moral of the story is we're staying unsettled. So because of all that's going on, we have multiple rain chances in the forecast. Some of those rain chances are kind of gray, gloomy days. Tomorrow will probably be one of those. Others of those rain chances, you'll see plenty of sunshine and then some scattered showers and thunderstorms at times.
Good little mix and kind of to be expected.
A nice little mix. I'd say we call it a 50-50 forecast. Sometimes it's raining. Half the time it's not.
All right.
So, yes.
I'll stick to the sunshine one.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you, Chris.
My pleasure.
We'll stick with News 3 all day long, and then tomorrow morning we're learning about wine by walking through the vines that produced it. A behind-the-scenes look at the Italian-inspired tour stopping in Madison this weekend. But first, you've probably seen the little free libraries in many Madison neighborhoods. Now, other local communities are using that blueprint to help feed people in need. That's all ahead on News 3 Now this morning. Welcome back. We end this morning with our series, A More Perfect Union, which aims to show that what unites us as Americans is far greater than what divides us. In communities across the country, people are getting creative to make sure their neighbors do not go hungry.
Keeley, roughly 40 million Americans are food insecure. That means they cannot always afford food. Adriana Diaz visited one Minnesota neighborhood where a simple idea is helping many families in need.
Every day, when Jamie Hendricks gets home, she gets to work, checking her pantry and filling it up.
So what needs to be restocked today?
So today we need to restock some more of the vegetables and some more of the macaroni type of items.
But this food isn't for her family. It's for her community in St. Paul, Minnesota.
So what are you grabbing now for the pantry?
Toilet paper. Okay.
The supplies are headed to her front yard, where she planted the North End Free Pantry. She got the idea from Little Free Libraries, where neighbors lend and borrow books. But she's replaced books with food. So many people took the free food, she had to replace her 2.5-foot cabinet with a 7-foot one.
That told me that we have a much bigger problem, a much bigger need in our community than what I had even thought. Every day when I come home and I check it, there's usually some things gone.
When, people are a few days away from their payday.
Right before rent, right after they've paid their rent.
20% of people in St. Paul live below the poverty line. That's more than 8% above the national poverty rate. Angelique Rush knows what it's like to have to choose between paying bills and buying groceries for her husband and 4 kids.
Now we don't get paid for another 3 days, so we are at the pantry trying to figure out what we can feed the kids since they're out of school.
So what are you hoping to get here today?
Some breakfast and something that we can make so they can warm up when I'm at work.
Right.
Rush learned about the pantry on Facebook.
Here, deal.
She's gone to food banks, but they have limited hours, and some require proof of income. She says she and her husband make $75 too much to qualify for food stamps.
Having the pantry and it being anonymous, it helps a lot. It makes it so you don't have to answer to anybody or feel shameful. There's nothing worse than only having some things to feed your kids and not having what they want to eat. As a mom, it makes you feel really sad that they don't want to eat ramen noodles or they don't want to eat the soup you got, but they have to because you don't have anything else to feed them. It's really hard. I didn't mean to cry.
No, it's okay. I'm sure there's nothing harder than to hear them say they're hungry,
It's really hard.
Yeah. Has your life experience pushed you to do this for others?
When we grew up, we didn't have a lot of money. That was the same with when my daughters were young. But we always found a way to be able to make it and to be able to help other people.
Free food pantries have popped up nationwide. More than 700 are listed in this online directory. Hendricks' neighbor Rosie Toole sees the impact.
How often do people come and take food?
Almost every day. It's not only that they're taking, but people almost 2-3 times a week bringing stuff.
It kind of provides a little bit of hope for people, and not just in the sense that there's something there, but that other people care. And so that in and of itself, I think, makes a big difference.
If everyone did a small thing like this for the community, what kind of world do you think this would be?
A non-hungry world, that's for sure. It would make it easier for people to survive.
Amazing story, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw those popping up in Madison.
I know, some powerful stuff there. There's a lot of people every single day who we wouldn't know are hungry, they can't afford food. So hopefully that work keeps up. One of the things that will keep up is the increase in cloud cover going through today. It's okay. It's okay. We're gonna get through this. You gotta go through the rain to appreciate the sunshine, right?
Good point.
Yeah, that's the point. So we'll see some rain chances as we move into your Sunday, but then I do think we'll see some peaks of sunshine next week. There is a rain chance every single day, but not every single day is going to be a washout. So it's gonna be those days where you see some sunshine and some scattered showers, perhaps another kind of cloudy gray day by Friday.
All right. Well, you can hang out with Chris and I tomorrow beginning at 6:30. Thanks so much for watching.